Outcome Memory 0.2 has been out for 2 weeks now, and Kolossos has been getting nerfs after nerfs after nerfs after that absolutely cracked release, which allowed him to do silly stuff like this right here. Cross phone grab? What is this? But that's in the past now. He's in a fairly balanced spot, for the most part.
Yoink!
Yeah, I'd nerf his grab range. But how did the survivors match up against Kolossos himself? That's what you came here for, right? So let's get right into it, starting with... Amy is unfortunately in a very tough spot against Kolossos. She has 2 wars she has to fight when facing him, which is the RNG fight of the cards and Kolossos himself. If you don't roll decent enough cards and Kolossos gets on top of Amy, it becomes wrapped pretty quickly. You really need cards like Blaze, Tails, and Shadow to make it work, as speed and healing are your best friend. Hammer Swing isn't hard to land and it's very easy to not have blocked as long as you don't run right at the Kolossos where you're predictable or activated right before you can react. Hammer Toss, however, I found out is best used to simply zone out Kolossos and make him scared. You can hold the hammer throw stance forever as long as you don't throw it. You can buy yourself some time and the others. Throwing it instantly usually will reward you via Kolossos rock to the face via blocking, so hold on to it and do some mind games against the Kolossos before you throw it. Against Kolossos' abilities, you only have one answer to both his grab and his charge, and that would be your Hammer Swing. As at the very beginning of Hammer Swing, it gives you iframes, letting you bypass both charge and grab if you're lucky enough. Even with all of this said, you will struggle immensely against Kolossos. Amy is unfortunately one of the weaker survivors against Kolossos, and I'm gonna have to put her at the C rank due to her RNG and how little she has to counter Kolossos' kit. Tails has one giant advantage that no other survivor has, and that being a very effective long-range stun attack. If you're preactive rather than reactive to Kolossos' moves, you can stay out of Kolossos' reach quite often with both your glide and with your stun. Of course, Tails favors some maps far above others, so he kind of is a map-dependent character. Nevertheless, let's get to his cannon. His cannon stuns for 5 to 6 seconds, allowing everyone to either follow up their attacks or run away. The downside being that you have to be in a good spot and to have decent aim, as if you don't hit your beam quickly, you are very susceptible to eating a rock from the block from the Kolossos. Another thing being that there's nothing Tails can do if he fires his cannon while Kolossos charges at him, as Kolossos becomes completely invincible to his beam, so positioning is key for Tails. Up close, you're free food however. Juking at Kolossos is not in your favor if he ever manages to get up close. Always still far away and have glide ready whenever he wants to charge. Tails is a well-deserving B rank. He is a glass cannon where his support and range is incredible, but once Kolossos closes the gap, there's very little Tails can really do. I do bet however once his rework from TD hits, he will be either an A ranker or even an S ranker. Metal Sonic being Eggman's greatest creation is an understatement. This 175 HP behemoth can tank for days with his 50% damage reduction passive. With that in mind, he can tank 7 hits from Kolossos M1, which will allow Metal to keep Kolossos occupied for some time. One big problem is that Metal has no damage resistance against Kolossos' grab. Grab is insanely dangerous for Metal, as it is secured 42 damage he is almost always forced to take. Nevertheless, Metal can always use the mosquito strategy where he keeps pestering Kolossos with either hitting him or forcing out a block, then running away to either heal or to get his charge ready once again. His charge also nullifies grab and charge, meaning you can zip past those abilities as long as you're not caught during the startup. Metal's biggest weakness without a doubt is how slippery he is in the 0.2 update. Due to how slippery he is, you might find yourself having troubles to juke at Kolossos in close quarters, or even manage to hit his block when you're charging right at him, even though you're trying to turn around due to his slipperiness. Metal is an easy A tier character. His tankiness and his stun being the strongest in the game deserves him this spot without a doubt in my opinion. I think Vid and without Eggman, this Metal menace deserves an A rank. Cream being the healer of the team. What? Cream being... Yeah, there's no easy way to sugarcoat this. Cream being the only healer outside of Amy's sprinkles of healing makes you essentially play hide and seek against Kolossos. Against Kolossos' charge, your healing iframes are only good when you're near an edge of a cliff, as charge will come right back at you after he's gone through you just to snag you once again. However, it isn't the absolute worst at dodging his main swings, but be aware that if Kolossos times it perfectly, he can still get a hit on you before you can use your dash forward. With no perfect being gone at this current time, your looping game has also decreased significantly, so looking at Kolossos is a pain, and with Cream being so squishy, you know you're easy pickings. Her being the only healer saves her from being C tier. Her heals are great for healing Kolossos' damage, but when it comes to survivability, you essentially have none and you are very much at the mercy of your team. So remember what I said about Amy? How healing and speed is your best friend? Yeah, Knuckles has none of those things and he's absolutely amazing. Knuckles is the one person who can actively square up and hold against Kolossos for a good while. He has punch, a counter, and a glide. It might not sound like much, but it's everything you could ever hope for when facing this creature. Knuckles essentially changes the way Kolossos plays as long as he sticks with his teammates. Kolossos no longer can freely charge into stacks of survivors as his counter completely negates it. His punch as well is not only used for stun, but for damage reduction. Yeah, you know that grab that did 42 damage to Metal Sonic? It only deals between 12 and 13 damage to Knuckles as long as he has his punch mode up. He has a whopping 64% damage reduction. It's insane. Not only that, but he can instantly counter even in punch mode, meaning Kolossos can't just charge him for free. Although if he lands a charge during punch mode, Knuckles still takes reduced damage, meaning he can tank both of Kolossos' abilities quite well. Not only that, but his punch itself also has iframes, meaning Kolossos can't even grab you when you're swinging at him. And last but not least, you have the ground slam version of the punch, which goes completely through Kolossos' block. You have everything you could ever want with Knuckles. Knuckles is just amazing. A very simple kid, but an experienced Knuckles is capable of dueling even the best of Kolossoses, and he'll be our very first S-rank character on our tier list. He's just tougher than the rest of them. Eggman has kinda fallen off ever since 2011X isn't always the killer. The god tier rage base and looping is also gone when Kolossos can just wall climb whatever he looped the most. Unfortunately for Eggman, being Metal's medic is what he's mostly good for here. His shield only blocks for a second if landed and can block a charge, but he cannot block a grab, meaning he ain't always safe. There really isn't much to say about Eggman. He gets a B tier because of his survivability is quite solid, but lacks in the team synergy department outside of patching Metal up. Sorry Eggman, but your master plan's gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Sonic got speed in spades, and against a brawler like Kolossos, he is a great choice for both team support and survivability. His drop dash quickly allows him to get out of sticky situations due to his iframes, and he needs only 10 dodge meter to escape all of Kolossos' abilities. There's almost never any point of hitting his drop dash 3 times outside of prolonging the stun so Knuckles can follow up. His peel out works both as a solo escape tool as long as you create enough space, and for teammates who are in need of your assistance. He especially has good synergy with Knuckles. Holding down the forward with Knuckles, then peeling out once the stuns have been completed is an incredibly effective strategy that Sonic has going for him. Sonic is fast and can take a bit of time to master. He can really make or break a team. He's going to be the second character to reach the S tier ranking. I mean, is anyone really surprised? Blaze is a character that gets more power when she lands her abilities. Both her spear and her roundhouse kick / soul boost are available at the start, but gets more power once you land your hits. With Kolossos being as large as he is, it's not very difficult to land those abilities on him. Your spear can be used on Kolossos to knock him further away even when he's stunned to build up your meter, which is nice. The main issue being the startup of her kick allows Kolossos to block and punish her severely if he's expecting it. The mid-air version of the kick can be used to either deliver an unexpected attack or to gain elevation quickly. Once she reaches 50% on her meter, her javelin switches for Soul Flame, which gives her essentially a flamethrower attack that pushes him back and slowing him for some time. This ability can also stop Kolossos from charging at you and grabbing you. Another thing being that her kick actually gains iframes, so you can go through charges like it's nothing. She has quite the skill ceiling to master and isn't as easy as Sonic. Her kit is more advanced than most characters, but that doesn't make her bad by any means. I personally think she barely makes it to the A rank. Her unique ability to slow down the killer without stunning is nice, but a miss on her kick can put her in a place of no return. And finally, we reach Silver. As of this day, he has gotten several nerfs, especially to his flying. He used to be the best character and would have gotten an S tier before, but I doubt on release. But does he deserve it now? First of all, he starts with 105 HP, meaning he can tank 2 hits from Kolossos right out the gate. His suspension is also quite easy to land and only has a 5-second cooldown if you miss your shot, incredibly spammable and forgiving projectile. You can use this ability to hold Kolossos in place while heavy stunners bring the pain to him. Rock is tricky to land sometimes, but again with a giant creature like Kolossos and his block not countering the rock, you shouldn't have too much of an issue to land this. Just do it from a safe distance if you don't trust your aim. Time reversal can be used to juke killers off edges if they're right on your trail, but usually they'll either wait at your location of the startup or they'll hit you and cancel it before you can teleport back. His flight mode got severely nerfed, but it was needed as he could run laps around killers before. I still believe he's one of the best characters in the game if mastered. His skill ceiling is one if not the highest in the game, but the reward is worth it. He is still easily an S rank against Kolossos. And just remember Kolossos.
It's no use!
And that's what my tier list looks like. Do you agree? Or do you want to yeet me a comment saying how dog water this list is? Either way, I can't wait for this tier list to get invalidated in a couple of days or weeks as tweaks and changes are happening constantly. This video took me quite a while to make, so any kind of support is appreciated. And if this video gains any traction, who knows? Maybe I'll make a tier list on Tripwire.